What we sow and what we reap. The topic explored by distinguished anthropologist Dr. Barash Evans at the 11th Annual Grace Kennedy Foundation Lecture held at Le Méridien, Jamaica Pegasus in March 1999.
What is wrong with our males? This is a question on the lips of an increasing number of Jamaicans. The sight of idle males, young and strong, on the street corner, the daily news of the brutal, senseless murders they commit, their virtual dereliction of higher education, their cruelty to women, their display of a value system alien to the one most of us know. All these and many more examples of behaviors that most of us fail to understand prompt the question. In this lecture, as the title suggests, I will argue that it is we ourselves who ask the question, who have contributed to whatever it is our males have become or are becoming.
It was standing room only, with hundreds of students and adults listening attentively as the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences at the UWI Mona campus delivered his findings as to why Jamaican males behave the way they do, and what could be done to assist the youths of the inner city to uplift themselves and their communities.
I begin first by examining the three main areas where the problem is believed to be most manifest: sexual behavior, education, and crime. My objective is to try to separate fact from fiction where male performance is concerned. In the second section, I offer a perspective from which to understand the concerns, drawing upon recent research on socialization. And in the third section, I go on to suggest what can be done to ease, if not to arrest, the problem. So, first, the reaping, the things that we reap. One of the charges leveled against Jamaican men is their sexual irresponsibility. Not only do they not stick to one partner, but they also run from commitment and from paternity. The number of single mothers is proof enough. The fathers have abandoned their responsibility. That is why, in this country, it is the women who father their children. The men who stick to one partner, who acknowledge paternity and live up to their responsibility as fathers, are the few exceptions. In short, so goes the claim: the majority of Jamaican men are irresponsible. The charge that men do not stick to one sexual partner can be substantiated for a large proportion, as high perhaps as about 1/2. It is not true. There's no data to substantiate the view that all Jamaican men operate on 2-burner and 3-burner, as they say. And there's another side to it as well, which recent research has been discovering, namely that women too, there's a sizable section of women who do engage in multiple partnerships. This has become known over the last 15 years. We have had increasing evidence of this. The differences, though, between males and the females here, between the genders, seem to be the higher frequency on the part of the males, the public reputation outside partnerships bringing males, the greater secrecy and discretion on the part of the females, and the fact that female multiple partnership does not carry the threat of outside children. But both types of outside sexual relationships are possible, because in our country, the sanctions against them are weak. Turning to the issue of fatherhood, I undertook an evaluation for the Women's Center Foundation of Jamaica. Apologies to Mrs. McNeil, I think I always get it wrong. It's the Women's Center of Jamaica Foundation, I think that's the correct. This involved administering questionnaires to a randomly selected sample of 232 of its clients over 5 years between September 1989 and August 1994. I don't want to bore you with statistics, and I have a number of statistics which I will throw at you. But basically, in this particular study, we selected randomly a group of women who were clients of the center. 232 of them. And we matched that sample of women with a sample of women who had not been to the center, who were not clients of the center, but were matched in terms of geography, where they lived, in terms of age, and we sought, therefore, to ask them the same questions. And one of the questions we asked the girls was the kind of support that they received from the baby fathers. And I want to present the first table, which showed the results. Over 3/4 of the girls reported receiving moral support from their partners during the pregnancy, and nearly 9 out of 10 of them reported receiving material support. The idea was that what men want to do is just simply to impregnate and run, and there is no evidence to support this. It is a belief, a stereotypical belief that we have, which we use to characterize the behavior of all men, particularly the men of the lower classes, and it is not true. There is no data that substantiate this. We then asked the girls, how often did the baby father see you during the pregnancy, in order to test what they meant when they said that their baby father stood by them. And in the next table, table 2, we have the answer. 67% of the clients and 74% of those who were not clients of the center reported that the baby father either lived with them, visited daily, or visited several times per week. The available data then does not substantiate the charge that Jamaican men are by nature sexually irresponsible, a charge with a hidden subtext which reads, Jamaican women are by nature sexually responsible. Neither does the data substantiate the charge that Jamaican men run from paternal obligations. Yet the number of women who have to take their baby fathers to family court, or to waylay them outside the factory gate on payday, or the number of baby fathers who, once they reach the United States, forget their responsibility to provide, lend credence to these charges. These cannot be explained away, and no one should attempt to do so. My point, however, is that so far, no study has uncovered data to substantiate the charge that the behavior of such men is the norm.
For those of us who have held the incorrect view that most Jamaican men were guilty of treating their children's mother or baby mother badly, Dr. Shavans, in his delivery at the 11th Annual Grace Kennedy Lecture Series in March 1999, advanced a different view. A view which placed most Jamaican men in a positive light, where taking care of their children and baby mothers is concerned. For more information on this lecture, keep on watching CCN as we initiate dialogue and public response on important issues.
The sexual irresponsibility issue. To what extent do you think in the socialization of Jamaican male, there's a certain amount of perception versus reality that goes on? Your research of the 232 women did point out that there was some, let's say, it wasn't really the true picture that men were being socially responsible when it comes to their children and the baby mothers. But in general, I would think that also in Jamaica there's a lot of talk that contributes to the socialization, that issue, whereby we are more skewed to talking about bad things than good things. In other words, you mentioned a man's contact with a woman's underwear.
Yes.
I mean, you don't really hear men talking about the times when they do interact with women's underwear. You know. Similarly, you don't really hear about the times when the women saying, you know, my baby father takes care of me well. They only cuss about the time when the mothers are out. So, to what extent do you think that kind of thing contributes to the socialization of the man?
Yes.
In this particular context?
There's in what you say that in the socialization, there's a thing called reputation, you know, and which your reputation need not correspond to actual reality, you know. Many men do carry on with chores of the household that they would consider female, but they don't tell anybody about it. And they don't want it to be known. And I'm not talking now about the carrying the baby to the clinic, which now has, years ago they used to shy away from that, but now this has become part of the pride of a man showing off his baby. Because I guess the nurses and the other women treat him, big him up when he does that, so he feels good, so that reinforce it. But yes, what you do, there is a reputation that comes with the whole idea of a man and the masculinity and so on, which need not have any direct correspondence to the reality. You know, there's a lot of data that I suppressed for the sake of time, but it would show. My main point at that juncture of the lecture was to show that if you're going to say men are sexually irresponsible, you have to say that women are also sexually irresponsible, so that you know, though men are far more irresponsible than the females.
What is wrong with our males? Those of us who ask the questions are the very ones responsible for why our males are brutal at times with our women, why they are in the majority when it comes to idle youths on the streets, why women were gaining higher education than men, and why so many of our male youths are preoccupied with crime and senseless killings. CCN, your community cable network, will be bringing more of this lecture in the coming weeks.
Only one thing.